Welcome, everyone. We are here again for our final chakra series, our final chakra of the chakra series in our sensual activation journey that we have been on. And my name is Serena Amoroso. We've got the delightful Monique Gomez with us as well. We are your guides and your hosts for this. And how this works, every week we have been themed differently. And we start with around a 15-minute teaching transmission on our topic. And then we do a 15-ish minute embodiment ritual. So you can really take the lessons and insights that you're receiving, those little golden nuggets of wisdom, and really feel them in your body, in your heart, in your womb, in your nervous system, in all of it. So that is a little intro to this series. And today, as I said, we are starting with the crown chakra. So where to begin with crown chakra? I'm going to start with obviously that is the space above your head. Energetically, that's what people really associate with, and the color white. And so when I tune into crown chakra, a lot of what people talk about is trust, surrender, really being guided by something larger than yourself or being connected to something larger than yourself. And when I speak of oneness, that's what we're also really tapping in is it's the awareness and the recognition that we are all a fragment of the same light, right? We're all sparks of a greater fire. We're all drops of the ocean. It's like we are all one of the whole. We are a piece of it and a part of it. It is of us. It is separate from, not separate, but like it's a part of us and it's bigger than us. And so those are kind of some of the ways that people speak about this chakra. And something that's also really interesting is when you're more blocked or closed in this chakra or too open, this is where you will experience a lot of overthinking, a lot of overanalyzing, a lot of control tendencies. So whether you are in your relationship or in your life and you find yourself really micromanaging and you're not trusting your partner, you're not trusting the timing, you are just wanting to really control everything and have it be your way. Like this is where you get to really work with this chakra, that space of surrender, trust, of allowing. And I'll let Monique take it from here because there's so much to share, especially in the surrender and passivity conversation too.
Yeah. I always feel it like right above, right? Like right up on the top of my head here, the crown, the most like sensitive little part. I always think of when we're, newborn babies, how that's the last part of the head to kind of close because it's like the opening, like, the skull is still forming. So it's a really powerful point. And it's like, even when we crown, right, as like vaginal births, things like that coming into the world, it's like our crown chakra is the first one to come through. It's like connection points to me. That's how I've always seen it. And a connection to the sacredness, the higher essence, spirit, source, whatever that is, God. Um, so yeah, and because when it's open, right? It's like I always think of it as like an open channel, and it is like a letting go, like a surrendering into a higher knowing, a higher time timeline, I guess, like a timeline that is maybe not one that we're trying to create in our head or and need to be in overthinking, but one that's like a breath and a valve that can like release any tension as well. In the chaos of the mind, right? So that's kind of like I think of it in that essence of like if it's closed off, compacted down, not open, it can get stuck. It can get like energetically very fuzzy up here. We open it, we start trusting, we start surrendering to the higher self source timeline. We get more downloads, more information, more of a sense of presence and safety and of self too, and safety of self in the sacred, because it is really related to um, any spirituality, any kind of, it's the opposite of the root. Root is very much here in this world present. Crown is very much what is beyond this. What is that spiritual essence? And how do we connect with that? So yeah, that's kind of how I start sensing it. And surrender has been my theme recently, big time. So I've been really working with this chakra and allowing myself to embody surrender. What does that mean to embody a deep surrender to the highest source, the highest good, the highest um, self, right? So that those are kind of my thoughts right now around it, um, and the power that you can that it has when you it's like the power it has in relationship to the root. Because the more you surrender, the deeper you get to go down into your root.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. And it is such a beautiful, those 2 points contrasting, right? Because the root really being that space of like belonging with family and the earth and the planet. And then the crown being that sense of belonging with everything beyond, with the unknown. And so if you experience this in your life where it's like, I feel all alone in the world, right? It's only me. I'm doing this all by myself. I have no help. I have no support, not from the root chakra energy, but really from this more like existential energy. Maybe that, right? There can be a lot of existential crises up here, right? What's my purpose? Who am I? What is this? What are we all doing? And so when we are able to have all of this integrated and really connect, it allows you to surrender in the sense where there's this knowingness and trust, right? So there's trust in the divine orchestration of your life, of the timing of all that is. And so this is something I've also really been learning a lot more and more over the years. And I, yeah, what's coming through about this is with surrender and with the trusting of the timing of our lives, right? Whether it's we're starting to date someone new or we're waiting for a relationship or it's for something with work or money or your health or like where you're living, like all of these things that happen. It's operating from the space of knowing that it's all going to work out in the best possible way, but you don't need to know when or how. And so, how surrender, I find, is really like a key piece with surrender is remembering it's not passive. So, it's not saying like, oh, yeah, like I just know I'm going to meet someone in the next year, but then sitting on your couch doing nothing, not leaving, not talking, not whatever, like, and then like, oh, well, I just know it's going to happen. It's like, it's still required that you engage, that you play the game, that you show up, but it's not from a controlling space or a micromanaging place. It's coming from you're being guided in the next action step. You don't have the whole plan in front of you, but it's like, okay, what's the next thing you need to do? Okay, yeah, maybe just go to the coffee shop. It's like actually being involved because so much of the conversation around surrender, especially in feminine embodiment communities and teachings, is there's a lot of passivity to it. And from that space, you're not actually guiding your life and you're not letting yourself be guided. It's a real almost giving up kind of energy that people are like, oh, well, I surrendered, but you actually just gave up. And so there's a really important discernment and self-awareness that we get to cultivate with that, because it's the complete opposite of giving up. It's actually you have complete trust and faith. It's also really about faith, is you have faith of it's all working and it's all perfect. And so let me keep on keeping on and playing the game rather than like, oh, like it's just that the collapse, my body just wants to go like this and kind of like shoulders collapsed when I think about the passive surrender aspect.
Mhm. I love that you brought that in because that was the first, that's part of this surrender energy is it's not giving up. Surrender does not equal giving up. Surrender equals like a letting go of control, letting go of thinking or believing that we know it and having faith in the stuff in the mystic in the things that we don't know, and that's part of being human, right? There's so much of this humanness that we don't know, and the crown chakra is all another like all about the mystery in a way, right? The mystery that we still don't understand of what we're really be doing here and why we're here and the purpose and all of these things that humans are so good at questioning and wondering about, because we have this deep sense of knowing that we do belong to something greater, beyond, maybe that's a better word, I'm not sure, whatever resonates better with you. But that that essence of letting go of thinking that you have, or letting go of, yeah, it's like the control just keeps coming up because we're so programmed to try to control our entire lives. So it's letting go of control, but not giving up, right? It's like
Mhm.
those two things are very different energetically. A giving up reminds me, I mean, because I've definitely been in giving up spaces. I have definitely given up
Mhm.
where it feels really different than a surrender of letting go, right? And a giving up is like, you know, I don't know, the things that just keep coming through are when I'm just like, I'm at a collapsing, and like, there's a numbness, a hollowness, that's very different than I surrender to the greatest good of all. And I trust and I have faith,
Mhm.
right? That faith is
Yeah.
actually very active. It's a very active approach, um, while allowing things to come through and passively. I mean, it's like the both and, right? Actively being faithful or having faith, but passively allowing like yourself to also be in flow of what comes and showing up. That's kind of how I'm seeing passive right now. But yeah.
Yeah. That's the active faith
Hmm.
is so important. And this is something I've asked myself so many times, right? It's like, oh, I want more faith. How can I have more faith? I just need more faith, you know? And I'm sure many of you have asked that question as well. And something changed for me where it was like, oh, what's a better question to ask? And it's not, I need more faith. It's what do I have faith in? And if I have faith in the benevolence of existence and the divine orchestration and the mystery that I could never name, then that actually like switched something. It switched my orientation and it softened my nervous system in a whole different way. Cause it's like, because if I've been the scarcity of I need more faith, I need more faith, kept me in a loop. And it's like, wait, if I know I have faith in this truth, and that everything really is always happening for the best beyond whatever I can see. And this is what I would invite you all to reflect on is like, go choose a moment where something, it seemed like the worst possible thing in your life. And in that moment, maybe it was, right, a death of someone, a breakup, like, right, some of these really challenging experiences. But then you zoom out 5 years, 10 years to where you're now, and you're like, wait, that taught me so much. That was such a gift. I'm so grateful. And it's like that reminder, I bring you to that because that allows you to see like the divine orchestration, right? In the moment, of course, really hard. And you might have thought it was terrible, but then you zoom out and you're like, wait, that put me, or you got fired from a job, right? And then it's like, oh, that allowed you to start the business or move places. And so when we zoom out and we can see that it is always working for the best, that way, when the next challenging thing happens, it's like, oh, but I know that things are always working out for the best. And really, the other piece with faith that I've been learning in that way, where Monique was talking about, it's like this active experience. It's like, it's taking the actions, it's doing the thing. Like, let's say, let me like relate this in relationship of, yeah, let's say like you're dating, but you're not really meeting anyone, right? But you have this knowing, right? The knowing sense of like, well, I'm gonna be married and have my kids. The faith aspect, the acting in faith, is for you to still go on the dates, to still go like meet people, to still do something about it with the knowingness of it's going to happen. Versus if you didn't have faith, right? If you didn't have the faith that that's going to happen, then you'd be like, oh, I give up. Yeah, you'd be in that defeated space of like, oh, I'm not even going to say yes to that guy. I already know he's not it. Like, you come up with all these stories and excuses. But faith is really action. We take actions of faith, and it's not just like this like static belief that we hold. It's really an experiential initiation that your faith is built in the moment. It's like you take the action because you have faith. You are like that. I think is really such an important piece that I wish someone had told me a decade ago. It's like the fact that you're even taking actions proves that you have faith, or you wouldn't be doing these things because you'd be like, oh, there's no point. It's not even going to work. Like, why would I even do that? If you're taking action, you already have some faith, and then you can grow it even more. But like I said, it's like, what do you have faith in? And recognizing where that relationship is. Um, And that's a really important contemplation for our lives. Really big one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Huge. And I was just thinking, saying faith over fear, or like, you know, the faith, like having faith over your fear. And again, faith is like the highest crown chakra. Fear is what we get into the root of, like the shadow of the root, like that fear
Yeah.
of like surviving here. So just again, when we talk about the crown, this like as we move through all the energy centers, the chakras, like this is the crown. This is the point where we get to really believe and have faith, and when that's open and when they're all aligned, it's just like boom, 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 right? We get to like really be embodied, really be in our sensuality, really be in the present as we are belonging to source and taking actions of faith. Yeah.
Yeah. The belonging piece is huge. The belonging of like, I keep saying, of like, we all breathe together and we're all cells of the same organism. And if we could actually zoom out and see that, and then it's like, okay, and even all the planets and the star systems, like they're even just a cell within a larger organism. And you can scale that down all the way until you actually are at like your different cells and the mitochondria and the nucleus and the protons. It's like everything is connected in these systems, just depending on where you scale it. And when you recognize that, like it just changes just your whole orientation, because I know so many people struggle with this sense of like not belonging or not feeling connected to something, or a lot even in the new age community where it's like, well, I create my reality. And it's comes from this place of like wanting to bring empowerment to people. But I've also found it can bring a lot of shame to people. It's like, well, if I create my own reality, then why are all these terrible things happening? Or why is what I want not working? And then they get really disempowered and shaming and judging of themselves, when it's like we get to recognize that we're in a divine orchestration. And yeah, we can have our intentions and things can be flowing through us of what we're being guided to do. And also, there are things that are happening that are grander than we could ever conceptualize. There's so many reasons that things are happening that we have no idea about that are so necessary. And so we also get to take ourselves out of the focus and remind, like, we're not the sun, and like be like, oh, wait, we're part of this greater system. And that can just bring so much ease into your life if you're viewing life that way versus it's all on you, it's all on your shoulders, and there's no help. It's like, it's very healthy to actually have that orientation of there's something beyond that is supporting me.
Hmm. Absolutely. And just my last final thought as we kind of before we get into the embodiment meditation, it's just like we keep saying zooming out. And so just thinking of that, it's like the witness, right? The crown chakra gets to be the
Mm-hmm.
witness too of like it's the air, it's the time, it's the place that we zoom out. It's the energy in which we get to zoom out. And when it's open and we're zooming out, we get to see in all these new orientations and these perspectives. So that's another reason
Yeah.
this this is so important, this energy system of chakras.
Perspective.
Yeah, perspective. Hmm.
Perspective. Yeah. Get out of our own way. Get out of our own
Yeah.
stories.
Yes,
Trust the
yes, yes.
timing. Yeah.
Trusting the timing, faith over fear,
Yeah.
all of those.
All those cliches for a reason.
They're cliches for a reason.
For a reason. But really, before we get into the embodiment practice, the little homework that I'll leave everyone with is to really do that practice again of reflecting of like where things seemed really chaotic or nonsensical or where you were at a low, and like see how that potentially, maybe it didn't, but I'm 99% sure that it did bring you into a greater sense of self and an alignment at some point in time, whether that was a year later or 10 years later. But like take some moment to really reflect on that and like build that memory within yourself and within your body to see it clearly, because sometimes we forget. And so we're like, oh, like things never go, it's all right. We come up with all the stories, and it's like auditing and having the reflection from that lens can just remind you what's true and allow it to actually sink into your bones, into your heart, into your nervous system, and remember that truth, because you likely have a belief that's like, oh, I can't trust. Timing's always wrong, but you have multiple experiences where the timing has always been perfect. So you start to see those and you start to look at those, that will completely shift how you're engaging with yourself and all of reality. So do that homework assignment
I love it.
if you want.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you want.
You can always choose.
Perfect. Yeah, you always
Great.
have a choice.
Yeah. So let's go ahead. We'll do a little embodiment practice, a little visualization, just for the last 8 minutes or so that we're here. So like, yeah, 8 to 10 minutes here. Um, okay, so remember, this is our final journey through the chakra, and we're at the crown. So let's go ahead and just find yourself and just find a comfortable space, either seated, excuse me, or laying down. Go ahead and close your eyes or softly gaze in front of you, just relaxing your eyes, your vision, finding your breath. Let yourself release through that exhale. Allowing the exhale to be a little deeper. Feeling your body supported by the ground, by the chair, whatever it is that you are sitting on or laying on. Just feel that support. Continue to breathe, inviting the exhale just a little deeper. Relaxing your jaw, your tongue, the back of your eyes. Relaxing your shoulders, your chest. Softening your belly. With every exhale, soften just a little bit more down into the hips, to the legs, all the way down to the feet. Just allowing yourself to be in this moment. And now I invite you, with your mind's eye or your inner eye, see yourself laying there or sitting there. I invite you to notice the very top of your head, maybe even a quarter of an inch above it. And just bring your attention to that spot, the very top, your crown, the point of entry of the divine, of the sacred, of life. Now I invite you to imagine a sphere of white light just hovering over that point. And just notice. Notice if you feel any sensation as this sphere of white light hovers. Now imagine that sphere of white light maybe softening and growing and unfurling. So the sphere is now opening up in all directions, softening even more, sharing even more light. It's getting bigger in front of you, on the sides, behind you, and above you, and it keeps getting higher and higher. The light just keeps growing up to the top of the ceiling, into the sky. And that white light keeps unfurling and shooting straight up into the atmosphere of the earth. And now it keeps going higher and higher and higher. And what is the highest point that it can reach? Is there a point that this light gets to, where it stops, expanding out and above? And now with this white light, very expansive, see if you can notice a new perspective of your life, of your journey. Maybe seeing yourself from the very top of this light. And you're looking down and you're seeing you, your unique soul essence, your unique path. And you're just seeing the wholeness of your life. And in this space, I invite you to feel a trust that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. That you are in the divine orchestration of all that is beyond and below.
Mm.
And just feel that trust in your body. Anchor it somewhere, maybe in your heart or in your belly. And this will be the place where you feel faith.
Mm.
And then allowing yourself now to bring all that energy, that white light, quickly down, back into that sphere that's hovering right above your head. And let that sphere hover, that white light. And just feel the sensations, knowing it's there, knowing its ability to expand, and trusting its ability to have perspective and trust and faith. Taking one more breath and releasing out. Exhale and letting go and surrender. Beautiful. When you're ready, open your eyes and meet the day with a whole new perspective.
Thank you.
So
That was so yummy. I'm going to go soak it in. We invite you all to do the same. And we will be back when we're back. So to stay updated on the latest information about that, click the link below so you can join our group where we share when we're having more of these sessions. And we thank you so much for being here with us. Sending you all so much love. And it's this time right now where we'll be entering into the new year, 2026, next time we chat. So, what a gift.
Mhm. Thank you all
Okay.
so much, and thank you, Serena, for being with me today and co-teaching and facilitating. And thank you all for participating in the beautiful ways that you do.
Mm-hmm. We'll see you soon.
Time.
Until next time. Ciao, ciao.